Hi, my name's Tim Myers with mouseclickstv.com, and this is a video tutorial. On this tutorial, I kind of wanted to go over Google. Most people know that Google is a search engine, and what that does is that you'll type in a search term that you're looking for, no matter what it is. Google goes out on the internet and sees if it can actually find what you're looking for. But Google also offers other interesting choices. For example, I've already got it in my Google Chrome browser, but if you go to www.google.com/options, www.google.com/options, it's going to show you more Google products. And I will, let you know which ones I use, which ones I think are good to use, but everyone will find something useful, I'm sure, on this website that Google has to offer. But let's go to alerts. So what this does is that you can get email alerts to whatever you're looking for. Just type in something, the type, everything, or news, blogs, updates, video, or discussions. How often do you want those? I would choose as it happens. That way I get up-to-date news as it's happening. I don't want something that's going to be old, so I choose as it happens. The volume. In other words, what type of results? Only the best results or all results? I would choose only the best results. And then you put in your email address and Google will send you updates. Blog search. You can search all kinds of different blogs. Click on that and see what that offers. Go to Google Blogs. Just type in a search term in here and Google will look and see if there's any blogs that matches what you're looking for. Google Books. You can search books and stuff. This is Google Books. Google has a lot more to offer than just a search engine. So go to www.google.com/options and all kinds of stuff, all kinds of interesting stuff, magazines, trending topics. It's great. Google just has a lot of good stuff. Google Chrome. This is the browser that I use. This is the browser. This whole thing right here is the browser that I'm using. You can download it here. You can download from Windows XP, Vista, and 7. Now, I think Google Chrome is a lot faster than what Windows Internet Explorer is. I think it's better than what Firefox is. Those are the two that I have used. Now, Microsoft is coming out with Internet Explorer 9, so I'll try that one too, but for now, I like Google Chrome. And here's some of the things. You can do a new tab, new windows, new incognito window, which is for private browsing, a little bit more secure, safe. People, you don't want people knowing what you're looking for. Edit, zoom, save pages, find, print, and then there's some tools here. So you got those, bookmark, history, downloads, options, about Google Chrome, of course, help, and then exit. Okay, so I've exited out of there. So I'm going to go back. www.google.com/options. Whoops. Spell. Okay. So that's Google Chrome. Custom search. You can create and customize search experiences for your community. Desktop. Search and personalize your computer. You might want to check that out just to see what it is. Dictionary. I like this. I use this because as you can see, as I was typing, a poor speller. Also, you might need to know definitions of certain words. So this is a good tool for school-age kids, or like I said, for me, because I have trouble spelling and other things. Google Earth. That's a little program that will show you maps of Earth almost. I guess you can consider maps that are from space, like satellite. So you put in your address in there, and you may be able to see a satellite view of your own house or your school or where you work or whatnot. Finance, business info, news, and interactive charts. Google Health, organize your medical records online. You might want to do that, you might not. That looks like that's some of the stuff that we've talked about being in the cloud. iGoogle, add news, games, and more to your Google homepage. Images, search for images on the web. Maps, I've used that. View maps and directions. I'm always looking for directions to somewhere. News, search thousands of news stories. Patent search. This would be helpful if you're an inventor. Give that a look. Of course, product search. You can search for stuff to buy. And get live updates from popular social sites, news sources, and blogs. Scholar, search scholarly papers. I've used that when I was in college. Came in handy quite a bit. Toolbar, I use that as well. It's just a little toolbar. Instead of having to go to Google's website, you can just type it in there. Something else that's cool about Google Chrome, and let me go ahead and minimize this one, and I'm going to open up another one just so I can show you. You know how a lot of times if you're searching for something, you have to go like I said, Google? Well, you don't have to do that. In Chrome, what you can do is just type in, let's see mouse clicks TV. So if I click the mouse clicks TV, look at this. I don't have to go to Google. I just type what I'm looking for up into the you know, the search, or this line right here, and it'll the address bar. Sorry, the address bar. That's what I'm looking for. The address bar. Click something what you're looking for in the address bar, and it'll take you to Google automatically. That's cool. I like that. Don't have to go to any website to like Google or Yahoo or MSN to look for what you're looking for. You can just type it right there in your address bar. Trends, videos, search for videos on the web, all kinds of stuff. Bring it back here. Got a little carried away. Let's see here. Web search billions of web pages. Google's, to my opinion, is best for that. Web search features, find movies, music, stocks, books, and more. I think we went over that on a previous segment. Blogger. Google does Blogger. Calendar, documents. You can create and share online documents, presentations, and spreadsheets. That's pretty interesting. So let's go ahead and click on there. You can do any kind of documents, spreadsheets, presentations, drawings, forms. You know, just go ahead and try that. That's really cool. Google Mail. That's what I use. I use Google Mail. I think it's the best by far, in my opinion. What else can I say about it? I use it. I even have my Google Mail sent to my BlackBerry. That comes in handy. So no matter where I am, if I'm in the studio, I can actually read my email. Groups. Null. Share what you know. Orchid. Picasa. That's to find, edit, and share your photos. I know a lot of people who use that. Reader. Get all your blogs, news feeds fast. Sites. You can create websites and secure group wikis. SketchUp, build 3D models quickly and easily. Talk. I use Google Talk. It's like a chat program. You can send messages to friends that also are using Google Talk software. Video and voice plugin. I've used that as well. Give it a try. It's pretty interesting. I like it. Translate. Now this is kind of cool. So you can translate what you're looking for. You know, if you find a document that you just don't know, you can go ahead and have it translated. Google will do that for you. That's pretty cool. Okay, so translate voice. It's another telephone software service that Google is offering. It's new, so I haven't really had a chance to look at it. YouTube. I'm sure everybody's looked at YouTube. Something else is cool that Google is offering. It's offering a pack. Let's click on there and I'll show you what it's offering. This way you can get a lot of the basic, most popular Google applications all in one package. Google Apps, Spyware Doctor with antivirus. I think I've gone over this in a previous segment. I use Avast, that's my favorite, for antivirus. And I use Malwarebytes for anti-malware, and that too is my favorite. Google Picasa. Firefox with Google Toolbar. Don't know why it's offering Firefox, because Chrome is not even on here, and Chrome's is actually Google's. Skype, Google Earth, Google Toolbar for IE, which is Internet Explorer, Google Desktop, Adobe Reader, Google Talk, Real Player. Go ahead, download it, give them a try. You can, if there's something here you don't want to use, you can click it and it'll take it off, or if you want it, you can click it and it'll put it on. Give it a try. All kinds of stuff that Google has to offer. Give Google a try. You can go to get more products from Google at www.google.com/options. And these are some of the things that Google has to offer. My name is Tim Myers. This was a video tutorial from mouseclickstv.com.
Tim Myers with MouseClicksTV.com, and I'm here with Don Corbett, the Linux guy.
How you doing, Tim?
I'm good. How about yourself, Don?
So far, so good.
Good. What are we going to talk about this week?
Well, this week we're going to talk about the cloud.
The cloud.
A lot of discussion about the cloud. I did a presentation last month for several of the major user groups in the area down at Sinclair, and thought I'd cover that in a little bit of overview detail today.
Okay.
So the topic of it was called demystifying the cloud, but we really were calling it cloudy with a chance of data, because there's a lot of wiggle room right now in terms of what is the cloud. And that's really what this entire presentation was about. So what we found out was why is there the cloud? 5 reasons. One is to have distributed computing. We've kind of gone through that full circle now of centralized computing to distributed computing, to centralized computing to distributed computing, and that's going to give us a way where we can distribute our stuff to more places. Good news, bad news. Now that works good in 2 environments, either very, very large environments where you need a lot of compute cycles or a lot of storage, or very, very small environments where you just want to try a theory and you don't want to go through the price or time to set up a whole new system. So you just throw out a little workspace out on the cloud, do what you got to do, and you're done. And with prices being as cheap as they are, like 50 cents an hour in some cases, it's not a big deal.
No, it's not.
Not a big deal at all. The other thing is having it elastic, so that as you grow, it grows. This is great for retailers. Get into the Christmas busy season, you need more compute power, you need more resources for storage. It automatically, ubiquitously expands to fill in the space. And then, as we said before, storage and processing are the other 2 key areas of why we want to have cloud. With the cloud right now, mostly being hit by some of the big players, Amazon.com, Google, of course, and the Salesforce.com folks, all very cloud oriented. And really it was Amazon that really started what we know of the modern cloud being, and that was a couple of years ago during Christmas time. I don't know if you remember, but Amazon basically came to a crashing halt, literally at like the day before Christmas,
because of all the traffic.
All the traffic, they couldn't expand, and it was a big problem. So they took some of their Linux gurus and got together and came up with the core of what's now become the Amazon Cloud, EC2.
Were you part of that guru?
I was not. But later on, though, in my position with Red Hat, I did become part of the virtualization team, which now has gone into the cloud team. Okay. But I'm not with them anymore. I'm having more fun here, not traveling nearly as much.
There you go.
And of course, Google with the Google Apps, that's all about the cloud.
Right.
And we've talked before about the Droid and all that stuff. All that stuff's being stored out on the cloud, and that's why you never run out of room.
And people might have heard, and maybe you can shed some light on this. We've probably heard about like Mosey and Carbonite. That's in the cloud, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so
all of these things where you've got massive amounts of storage or massive amounts of compute, you can bet nowadays people are not spending that money on hard iron. All this stuff's going virtual.
Right.
But that's the other thing too that we look at is as we move things from physical to virtual, you also have to look at public versus private. So there's security needs, there's cost needs, there's administration needs that need to be addressed. So some of the things with the cloud that are important are security. One thing, you do have the SSH with key pairing, which is in the X509 protocol. It uses the port wrappers, so you can use the same firewall rules that you're used to. The cost, like I said, is actually as cheap. I said 50 cents an hour. It's as cheap as 10 cents an hour for the really small end stuff.
Right.
Almost everybody who's gone to a cloud app says that within the first year they've seen at least a 50% savings in the first year, and it gets better after that. Scalability is also a big feature, so that your CPU, your I/O, and your storage, if you need more compute cycles, you steal them from CPUs that are available out there on the cloud. And I mean, we're talking thousands of cores of potential availability.
And you're sharing is what you're doing, right?
You're exactly, sharing the idle time. And the thing is, your app isn't what's worrying about load balancing. Load balancing is going to become a thing of the past to worry about, because it's all going to be done by the switches. It's all going to be done behind the scenes, and you just use it. You know, when you turn on the light, you don't wonder how bright is that light going to be.
Right.
You know, it's going to be whatever you bought. You know, you bought a 60 watt, you're going to get a 60 watt. And then that takes us to utility, because it has to become a utility capacity, just like the electric company has. I don't know if you realize, but at the turn of the last century, most large businesses had to produce their own electricity.
Wow.
You know, the GMs and the, you know, whatever the big foundries were, they actually had to produce their own energy to make their plants work.
No, I didn't know.
And of course now it's become commonplace. We just assume that we go on a public grid.
Right.
And that's kind of where we're aiming here with cloud computing, so that you just go out, you need electricity, it's there. You need bits, it's there. But we have to come up with a quality metered service, just like we have with the electric company, because you don't want the electric company to just send you a bill for what they think you might have used.
Right.
You want to pay for exactly what you've used, no more, no less. So that creates a whole new need for open standards. And there's going to be some real heavy discussions about that. So other issues to consider is, well, where is my data? We get a lot of questions about the good news, bad news of backups and copies. Because when you're on the cloud, you're not just in one location.
Right.
Some of your data may be in one region. Some of your data may be in another entirely separate region, because everything's being mapped and addressed. It acts like it's all right here on your desktop, but it's not. And that can really cause a problem. One of the discussions we had was with somebody from the UK, that in the UK, for example, they can't watch the US programs on Hulu because of copyright issues.
Right, right.
But if that person opens up a Google account with Google Apps, and they get virtualized into a server bank or server farm that's in the US, they can run Hulu on that. Well, is that a violation or not? Plus, you got to watch out for the material that you're using. You know, sometimes just, you know, let's say you're Victoria's Secret. Well, that actually could be considered pornography in some countries. And so you have to watch out for social and ethical issues around the data that you're using, let alone if you're doing military type stuff.
So there might have to be all new laws written.
Exactly, because who governs it?
Right.
You know, and there is no single governing body. And of course, we're all trying to stay away from the one world government, you know, concept. So it's a good news, bad news. So you've got the civil and criminal restrictions. You've got embargoing things like data that can only be, you know, we'll give you this news story, but you can't let it out for another 6 hours. Well, 6 hours in what time zone?
Right.
Because my stuff's all over the world right now.
And there's certain technologies that we don't want to share with other countries either.
Well, exactly right. That's your competitive advantage. And just from mere competition, you know, let alone anything more sinister.
For example, I know years ago, I don't know if it still stands, maybe you would know, is that we wouldn't export certain encryption technology overseas.
Yeah.
So that can
be. And a lot of that's kind of fallen by the wayside simply because of the internet and open source technology. You know, and there's still a lot of arguing of whether you could or should.
Right.
You know, two different issues. And then all this still leads down to administration. Who is the system administrator on the other side? And how much access of your data do they have?
Right.
So when you're in the cloud, one of the advantages is if an area goes black, well, everything's auto-magically bounced over to another area. Well, that means you've got things copied.
All over.
All over. And because of that, you may not want 6, 10 copies of your stuff all over.
And like you said, it might not all be in the United States. It could be...
Exactly right. Well, you know, I was working with GE Financial, and a lot of that stuff's in Budapest.
Wow.
Well, a lot of people aren't comfortable knowing that their GE credit information is being held in Budapest.
Right. And how secure are they?
Exactly right. And I'll take that as an arbitrary question, or a rhetorical question.
Right.
And then there's also the liability. If data breaches, and really in my view, it's when data breaches.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Who is going to be liable? Who's going to be accountable? Who's going to be responsible? You know, these are all questions that we're really not quite ready for. But it all goes to the cloud. So basically, we can get in our next segment, we can talk about why the cloud, how it's broken down. You know, Google Apps is probably the most popular thing. Salesforce.com, popular thing.
And I'm familiar with Salesforce.com. My previous company I worked for, we used Salesforce.
Yep.
And there's a lot of data on our, well, in our accounts that we had, there was a lot of data. So
we'll cover that when we come back.
Okay. It's about all the time we have for this week's segment. I'm here with Don Corbett, the Linux guy. Don't forget to go to our website, www.mouseclickstv.com, and we're going to be changing some stuff around there. It's going to be really great. What do you think?
Very cool. Looking forward to it.
See you in a little bit.
Thanks. Keep clicking.